What is Aleppo?
Brexit means Brexit.
I'm not gonna pay for that fucking wall.
They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people.
From this moment on, please, do not ever call us a racist party.
You Tory tougher.
And I want you all to know that we are fighting the fake news. It's fake, phony, fake.
I didn't lie about weapons of mass destruction. I didn't send anyone into an illegal war. I didn't say anything racist. I've never been caught in a paedophile gang or anything.
Just who the hell do you think you people are?
Put on a proper suit, do up your tie, and sing the national anthem.
Nobody builds walls better than me.
Hello and welcome to the latest episode of Everything Left. As always, I'm your host Amy Walker, and joining me this week we have Adi Ahang.
Hello.
And Pete Gaskell.
Hello.
Thanks for joining me, guys. How you been?
Good. I've missed doing the show.
Yeah, it's been a while since both of you. I had to do the last one all by myself.
Oh.
I enjoyed it. It was a very nice review.
Yeah, it's a shame the film was horrible to review, but you know.
We all have to suffer for our art.
Very true. Very true.
Well, there ain't no one watching that film who didn't suffer, I tell you that.
Yeah.
I mean, think about the fact that in the film they cut off his dick as a form of torture and retribution. Now, if you want to torture someone, you just make them watch the film.
It's a nice cycle, isn't it? It's a cycle of life.
You know, I didn't actually say in the review, but I think even Batman v Superman was better than it.
We're not getting into this discussion again.
No, I'm just saying, on the scale of shit, it's even below that, so...
I mean, that's a pretty low bar.
Well, I don't know. There is Baywatch on this scale as well. I think we have to incorporate into this somehow.
I've not seen Baywatch yet, but having seen Assignment, I'm going to jump in and say it's probably worse than Baywatch as well.
Quite probably, but, you know, Baywatch.
I think, like, there's the new it came out 2 years ago officially, with Al Fanning and Susan Sarandon. The one where Al Fanning plays a trans guy pre-transition.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, I do.
I think that's being released now. I think it was...
Yeah, it's been
around for a while, but it's not come out
year.
yet. Mm.
There is one, which is obviously the one when you mentioned, which was Michelle Rodriguez one, which is just really horrible, but which is just horrific.
Fortunately for Al Fanning and Susan Sarandon, Michelle Rodriguez was not in their movie.
That's just fortunate for everyone ever, really. If Michelle Rodriguez isn't in their film, I'm not a fan of anything, but
I imagine most actors, when they turn up to set and realise she's not there, breathe a sigh of relief. But
I don't know. Some of them have to work with Michael Bay, so they're like, shit.
No.
Could be worse. They could work with Michael Bay and Michelle Rodriguez at the same time.
Oh, back Satan.
Worryingly, I've now got to Google and see if they ever work together on something just to blacklist it completely.
Yeah, so from a terrible subject to a different terrible subject, I'm going to talk about the Trump.
Yes, Donald Trump visiting the world.
So last week, Archduke of Agent Orange decided to visit our small country. And from people who are unaware, and in this case I ask, why the fuck are you unaware? I talk about it all the time. I'm from Israel. And people were very excited. And the first thing that happened when he got off the plane was that one of our ministers managed to sneak past security with a cell phone when he was not even supposed to be in the welcome committee and take a selfie with him.
Oh, God.
Oh, that sounds about right.
It's at that point, it's not going to go well, isn't it?
I mean, the dude is too dumb to even understand that it's not going to go well, because at some point he did some pretty stupid shit himself.
Of course.
Number two, when we're still on the red carpet. Number two, our Minister of Homeland Security decided to inform Trump the fact that earlier on there could have been some sort of domestic issue in Tel Aviv. It turned out to be an accident, a car accident, which people confirmed, the police confirmed, was actually an auto accident, and the minister was supposed to know about that by then. So he just kind of caused a small amount of panic for no reason. I think he just loves the drama. Incident number 3, and we're still on the red carpet. He didn't even technically visit Israel yet. Agent Orange reached out a hand to his stoic wife,
Yes.
and she flapped it away.
Yes.
Yeah, you can't blame her for that.
And we
though.
caught it on camera.
Yeah, I watched that clip quite a few times.
And it was glorious. During his visit, he visited our very prestiged Holocaust Memorial Museum, which is called Yad Vashem.
Oh yes, I've been there. That's incredible.
Which he lengthened the visit for 20 minutes instead of 15. Our comedians dubbed that he really enjoyed the train ride. I mean, to be fair, from a comedic point of view, that's brilliant. But the point is that the dude is dumb enough to really think it's hilarious. Now, when he signed the guest book, the length of his signing in was tweet length.
Oh no.
Well, he can only write in 140 characters or less.
It was 2 lines.
Did he
And
end it
he
with
en-
hashtag coffee?
No, he ended the grading or signage or whatever with would recommend to friends.
Recommend to friends. It was a TripAdvisor review.
It's like, what would you recommend to friends? Create the same genocidal issue again? Create great museums.
I have to admit, I have been to Yad Vashem myself, and it was one of the most powerful places I've ever visited. But I wouldn't.
It's an amazing museum
It's
every time.
It's so powerful, but I think it's a bit more worthy than 2 thumbs up from a Trumpster. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know if it's worth 2 thumbs up from a Trumpster because I don't know where these hands have been.
Well, we can't be in too many places at once. We are quite small.
The thing is, after other stuff his administration's done in regards to recognising the Holocaust, was this a surprise in any way?
No, but we expected a bit more respect from the cause of our nation's rise.
Yes, but this is a guy whose press secretary said that Hitler didn't use chemical weapons. I don't think he knows what the phrase Holocaust means.
Oh yeah, I remember the Holocaust centers.
Yeah.
To this day, people said it was my best episode. Fantastic speech. And my favorite part is when he gave a speech and he said he just returned from visiting the Middle East.
Secretary of State has done an incredible job. We just got back from the Middle East. We just got back Saudi Arabia.
Oh, yes.
Well, in Israel.
Where did he think he was at this point?
I don't know, Narnia? I don't think the dude really knows geography very well.
Amongst many other things.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's only so much his brain can hold inside.
Mm.
I'm pretty sure, mostly he thinks sex, Twitter,
Golf.
fake news, pussy, pussy, pussy.
Did you guys see his NATO visit as well went about as well?
He shoved, it was even Montenegrin Prime Minister, he just casually shoved out of the way like he was getting on a bus.
Yeah, because he wanted to be at the front for pictures.
I love the photos he took with the Pope.
Oh, yes.
Because I love the fact that Melania and Ivanka both wore black. And someone wrote, dress for the job you want to have, widow.
The thing is, the Pope is quite a jovial Pope. He tends to have a laugh with esteemed guests, etc. But he had a face on him like a wet weekend that entire time that Trump was in the Vatican.
Oh, yeah, he hated
I don't
the guy.
think that's
He
a
hated
coincidence
him.
somehow.
I mean, it probably would be a wet weekend. It's very golden.
True.
It's like, I don't like the Pope in general, but this one specifically for his somewhat regressive views on the LGBT community, despite him having some good opinions in other areas. But I still had to give him a thumbs up for the way he treated Trump. There's that video where it's talking to the First Lady and he's all smiles and he just turns and looks at Trump and gives him that look where you know he's thinking you're just a piece of shit. You can see it in his face. He's just disdain.
Mm-hmm. Why do I have to deal with you?
Yeah. I represent God on Earth, and I have to talk to this piece of shit. It's like, yeah, this job isn't as good as I thought it would be.
Okay, so if someone gets murdered in the Vatican State, whose jurisdiction is it, and does the Pope get immunity?
That's an interesting thought. Well, also, he's God's representative on Earth, so if he'd have just killed Trump, would it have been technically an act of God?
True. You can't file the insurance claims after that. It now has me just wandering in my mind thinking that now. You've sent me down a very interesting passage there, Ali, because now I'm just trying to think if there's ever been a serial killer pope before who's just been going around murdering all his arch-cardinals and having no consequences whatsoever, thinking, haha, no one can touch me.
It's not called the serial killer pope, it's called the serial killer church.
True. It's just, yeah.
Witch hunts. Literal witch hunts.
That is just a fantastic idea for some sort of dark Hannibal Lecter-esque film. Have a pope played by Mads Mikkelsen. I'm writing that down.
That's my idea. You do not touch it.
There we go.
Amy, we're writing a script.
Yeah.
No one steal our ideas. We may have to edit this out so that they can't steal our ideas.
True. Just have a blatant copyright underneath it all.
Oh, yes.
I'm just thinking about the fact that an atheist and a Jew are going to write a script about a cannibalistic pope.
I would say that's quite weird, but there probably has been weirder.
The usually is on Channel 5, Amy, let's be perfectly honest. I've seen some dodgy films on there which are a lot worse.
I mean, I'm pretty sure there are people who, never killed anyone, as far as we know, that wrote about murder.
You'd hope so, wouldn't you?
I really hope Stephen King was never one of the people who committed murder.
It was just all his works are just his biography, his autobiography.
Yeah. Well, they are all set in Maine and all star a writer, so...
That's not true.
Okay, but 90%, Addy, 90%.
I'm listening to Cujo, and there is not one writer in the story so far.
So far.
The dog writes his memoirs afterwards. Sorry, spoiler.
While he's slowly losing his mind after getting rabies from a bat. I do love the descriptions of gore in this book. It's not even the descriptions of violence, it's the description of, every bodily function possible.
We are now waiting for examples.
I'm not going to repeat because I'm not that evil.
Well,
I'm evil, but not that evil.
Yeah.
This is also how 20 minutes of German SpongeBob gets edited out of the show, because of weird tangents like this.
To be honest,
fair, it was a lovely episode, and we had a lot of fun. And we listened to the song, and it was funny.
You've been on my show, Amy. You realise that my show is just 2 hours of tangents, so
That is true. I could probably just slip you some of the deleted parts of our recordings, and you'd be able to fit them right in, and no one would notice.
See, that sounds very illicit. Wow.
Pete, I want credit if Amy does that.
If ever I'm down a guest, I'll just keep adding bits of you in there if need be, just to make it. Oh yeah, he's here. Yeah, perfectly fine.
Yeah, just two different people with completely different accents. Suddenly, there's a third person who wasn't even there before.
Stranger things have happened.
Where the fuck did that dude come from?
I had to very creatively edit an episode of my show once because people kept dropping out and losing my Skype connection. So what started off as 5 people on a show ended up with 2. I had to be very creative as to find a way to make sure each time they actually ended up on a downer note so I could theoretically get rid of them from the show. Back on the topic of Trump, did you guys see what he did during the Memorial Day service?
No, because I don't care about Memorial Day.
No. Well, obviously it's a Memorial Day service and they play the anthem and you're supposed to stand there, where the anthem is and silently and pay respects to it. He
danced and sang?
Yeah, he basically treated it like a sort of karaoke attempt because he was singing along and sort of giving a bit of a hippie shake, really, wasn't he? And it's just what? I don't know what. what he thought he was doing. I really don't. But yeah, thinking he thinks it all is a bit of a stretch, isn't it?
He's either completely lost his mind or he's trying to make people think he's lost his mind so that he gets taken out of office.
I don't think he's that talented to make people think he lost his mind.
That's known as a Boris Johnson scenario, isn't it? Where I don't think Boris Johnson is quite as daft as he appears to be, because no one can be as daft as he seems. Just, yeah, random Doctor Who quote. But
I assume he just bleached his hair so much that, like, the lack of oxygen just caused permanent brain damage.
Yeah, the weird thing about Johnson as well is that most people refer to him as Boris. I can't think of another politician that people just refer to by their first name, but he's just casually referred to in the street as just Boris or Bojo, which just makes him sound like an athlete from the 80s. Yeah, like he should be in a pink tracksuit jogging around on morning television, which actually I would pay to see. You know, honestly, I'd rather him do that than be foreign secretary. But there you go.
I'm sorry. I love the fact that you guys call that. I don't know even what the fuck that is. Bojo.
Bojo, yeah. Portmanteau.
Oh. I have something funny about Trump, like something I just came to mind. The fact that Trump visited the Wailing Wall, and people were like, he's the first president in office that came to visit the Wailing Wall. It's like, no, he isn't. We also had Obama, Bush, Clinton, all the other presidents before him.
I think there was a bit of fine print underneath that comment where it's, he's the first president to come visit the wall since Obama.
So someone, there was a meme that started, which is like him caressing the wall and saying, yes, this is how I want to build my wall.
Yeah.
And my comment was just that he should stop touching the wall because he's smearing Cheeto dust all over it.
Maybe he was the first president to visit the Wailing Wall there to admire its handiwork of construction.
I mean, that thing has been standing for 3,000 years. You have to admire the handiwork.
I saw a bit of a meme going around about it as well, where there's a photo of him touching the wall. Looking a bit like Spock doing a mind meld, in all honesty, but him touching the wall and it just being underneath thinking, how did they get this through Congress?
I've seen the one as well. It's like, how did they get Mexico to pay for you?
Yes.
I'm just thinking about the fact that it's like, who did the handiwork? It's like, when Jews build something, that shit does not break down.
That photo of him with a glowing orb. And various Middle Eastern regions. Have you seen the amount of Photoshop there which doesn't look out of place? People put Sauerman in there.
Yeah, I saw that one, and it took me about 5 minutes to realise it wasn't the genuine picture.
It just fits in so well.
Did no one in his press team look at that orb and think, guys, maybe this is not the best photo op?
No, because why the fuck would they give her at ass?
Who else?
I mean, this is an administration that has their foot in their mouth so much that at some point people would be surprised if they start talking sense.
True. We know a bit about that ourselves, really.
So what do you guys say about the new president of France?
Macron.
He seems really good so far.
I like the fact that the nearest football stadium to mine is a Macron stadium, and every time I hear any news about him, I just think of this giant football stadium and just think, wow, he's got quite a following already. But
I just think about the cookies.
Well, no, he certainly laid down the law to both Trump and he's even gone on the attack against Putin, which is extremely brave 2 weeks into his presidency. But fair play to him. He's certainly not a shrinking violet, put it that way.
I mean, I'm happy he beat Le Pen because she would have turned France into
America.
Oh no, she would have turned it into Britain.
Oh.
Whoa, we're not that bad. Yet
is the key word.
You guys had a bomb this week.
Oh.
Yeah.
In a concert.
True.
Full of children.
My friend was at the concert, and she said it was one of the most horrifying things she's ever been through, which is understandable.
I know someone who the first named victim. I know someone who taught her. I have a friend who is a teacher and was actually the girl's teacher. and she's just heartbroken. It's almost like a surrogate daughter for it. It's just like, oh no, this is just horrible beyond words.
You think next time we're gonna go into like lighter subjects in the next episode, like only maiming and like?
Well, I think we're sort of dictated to by what the world decides to do, isn't it? Really, can just rewind back to 2014 when the world was nice, relatively speaking.
Yeah, I was still in college. I don't want to go back there. That was like stressful shit. I mean, I had fun in college, but that was stressful. Yeah, then there was like an interview or something, or like commentary by that stupid idiot Piers Morgan.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God.
Yeah.
My favourite thing ever about Piers Morgan is when Stephen Fry was asked during a game of I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue on Radio 4, he said, give a definition for the term countryside. And Stephen Fry went, to kill Piers Morgan. So that's just what the image that comes to mind every time I think of that absolute naught vein.
The dude dissed out Ariana Grande, who, for pretty obvious reason, is also pretty traumatized from what happened in the show. And the point is, Ariana Grande was a champ afterwards. Like, she offered to pay
funerals, I think, of all the victims.
She offered to pay the funerals of the victims. She's now doing a concert again in Manchester when all the proceeds go towards the victims and their families and injured people, fallen victims, everything. Yeah. And she was amazing afterwards.
Well, for that concert, I mean, it's going to be the good side of this whole horrific incident is the response to it, like you say, and just this concert that Ariana Grande's set up. I mean, it's probably not just her, in all honesty, but it is an array of talent that I don't listen to, but it's an array of some of the biggest pop stars going or joining forces, isn't it?
Some people's reactions were terrible.
Some wonderful ones. I don't know if you saw the video from Albert Square during the what was originally a minute's silence, and then suddenly her own voice, after the silence had ended, her own voice started singing "Don't Look Back in Anger" by Oasis, and then back before the end of the song, everyone in that square was singing it, and that was a beautiful moment. Not a moment we wanted to see, but a moment that was beautiful nevertheless. You
guys, as a country, really need to up your security.
That's true. In specific places.
In crowded areas.
But there's only so much we can do.
True.
I mean, a metal detector could probably help.
I have been to the Manchester Arena in the past, and the security there was, admittedly, it wasn't for a major show. It was for relatively minor stuff. But the security there was literally just a bag check, and a very fast bag check, and then through you go. Which is, considering it's also right next to the second busiest station in Manchester, that is a bit skimpy, in all honesty. So I think they'll be looking into that before too long, because, well, these things happened.
Yeah, they'll definitely be looking at security, not just there, but in other places. Security will probably change
On
after
trains,
this.
I've been told there's going to be armed police on trains, which in some ways is a bit of an overreaction.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about armed police. It's one of those things where, yeah, it's a good thing, but I'm never comfortable when I see them.
I commute on a pretty daily basis, and my train is actually the one that goes to Manchester Victoria. I mean, I get off before then, but still, and that train is rammed. But it wouldn't be space for armed police to be on that train. That's just my personal view. It is absolutely squished. I was squished. So I don't see how that's going to work.
No.
Because the train's tiny. 2-carriage chuffers.
We have in Israel security checks to every public place. Entrance to malls, train stations, bus stations, everything. You have to search your bag. And in some areas they have metal detectors or they have like x-ray machines, which with our history makes a lot of sense.
Of course, I mean, yeah.
Here in the land of Narnia.
Yeah, not the Middle East, of course.
No, not the Middle East.
But yeah,
I mean,
we have fairly stringent security in airports these days. That's excessively tight.
Airports are different compared to like concert venues and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to several arenas, etc. in the past, and there's not been the security's generally been bag search, maybe a metal detector sometimes. That's where that will probably change. But I can imagine. It's a shame it's had to get to that, but you know.
Unfortunately,
it's a world, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do we have something positive?
It's some good news stuff. Did you guys see what happened to Katie Hopkins after the Manchester bombing? She finally got herself sacked.
Yes,
Who
and
is
apparently...
Katie Hopkins?
Oh, you... That's a wonderfully naive question, isn't it?
I'm not British.
Good. That's good.
I mean, you guys ruled here some time ago, but then you guys skedaddled and fucked off.
You don't want her, trust me.
She's essentially the UK female version of Trump, but just not in politics.
Okay, that's very disturbing.
Yeah, she's a hateful bigot.
She is the one that said that antidepressants are shit?
Probably.
And that you should exercise?
That sounds like her. Yeah.
She said she hates people who give their kids geographic names. She also has a daughter called India, so...
India isn't a place.
No, it's like the Middle East.
Yeah.
It's in the Middle East.
But yeah, she tweeted after the attacks that she said something like, something needs doing about the Muslim problem. It's about time to have a final solution.
That's what got her sacked.
Yeah. It was funny. Even her employers at that point were like, okay, we're going to let you go now. That's a bit too far.
Can't use that term.
Hitler wanted his copyright back.
And I like the reports as well, where people were saying that when the news broke at the radio station, her colleagues were cheering and clapping. So even where she worked, people hated her.
Is that the same radio station that employed Farage?
Yeah.
Or employs Farage? Wow.
Yeah, it's like they're not a left-wing, liberal, peace-loving group. They're nasty people, and she's too nasty for them. It's like, that says a lot.
That's kind of what happened with Tommy Lauren, the idiot from the US, like I don't remember the news site's name.
Breitbart.
Yeah, she got sacked. But oddly enough, she got sacked because she said she's pro-women having rights over their own reproductive rights, which is kind of ironic because she was sacked from a conservative news outlet for saying something liberal. And yet she's a Islamophobic piece of shit. Anti-Semitic too, but apparently lately I'm not really supposed to talk about anti-Semitism.
I was going to say something positive is Wonder Woman. We could say that. That's positive, I would say.
Yeah.
Diana. Fighting does not make you a hero.
What if I promise to be careful? Just a shield then.
Diana.
No sharp edges.
Be careful of mankind, Diana. They do not deserve you.
You've told me this story.
What is this place? Who are you people?
We are the bridge to a greater understanding.
Right.
What is your mission?
Well, here's the thing. You are in more danger than you think. The boys in the trenches called her Dr. Poison. Millions would die. The war would never end.
I'm going, Mother. If you choose to leave, you may never return. Who will I be if I stay?
Will come when you will have to rise.
To the war.
Well, technically the war's that way, but we gotta go this way first.
How can a woman fight in this? Ooh.
Who's this young woman?
She's my,
Diana, Princess of the Mist.
Prince, Diana Prince. If you believe that this war should stop, help me stop it right now. What are you?
You will soon find out.
Wonder Woman, rated PG-13. Experience it in IMAX 3D June 2nd.
I mean, it's a national pride at this point.
I mean, for women's only screenings and the rage from certain chauvinistic tosspots who don't think they can go to see the film, which is ridiculous.
Oh, did you guys hear about the screening for women only in Alamo, Texas?
Oh.
Okay, so the Alamo Theater in, I think, Dallas, Texas, has decided to do a women's-only screening for Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Now, women, they specified, which I think is very nice, women and people who identify as women.
Yeah.
Which I think was a sweet afterthought. So men, like, okay, apes with the ability to type went onto Twitter and said that it's ridiculous and it's sexist and how dare they do a screening only for women and stuff like that. So you know what the reply of the theater was?
Go on.
To add another women-only screening.
Good for them.
Well, that was one reply. I liked the one where they turned around and said, whilst, we're not going to do a male-only screening of Wonder Woman, we did show Entourage a few years ago, so that's kind of the same thing.
Basically, it is. I mean, it's basically an opportunity to showcase a female empowerment film, and if there's nothing wrong with doing that. I mean, probably a lot of the blokes who have reacted by dragging their knuckles onto the keyboard, like you say, probably weren't going to go watch it anyway. So why are they kicking up a shitstorm about it?
We're going to watch it anyway. It's a chance to leer at Gal Gadot.
True. That's probably why they wanted a male-only screening, to be honest, to have a good old fap session in the back row.
I mean, there are enough shots of her online since she was our beauty queen.
Yeah, amongst various other pursuits, wasn't she? Obviously, she was within the forces as.
I kind of feel bad for bringing it up because as much as she is a beautiful woman, she's also a really genuinely nice person.
Yeah, the beauty's a nice little added bonus. In all honesty, she's just great.
But she's I think I told this story here, but one time I used to work at a zoo, and one time she came for a photo shoot in my area where I take care of the birds there. We took care of swamp birds, and it's beautiful, colorful birds, and they came and try to do a photo shoot, and she was so nice, and it was so fun to see it. Too bad they couldn't do much because the birds didn't cooperate.
Never work with animals and children.
They steal the show.
Yeah, Still, I mean, and on another level, she's a great advocate for Israeli actors as well, really, because there's not many, as memory serves, have broken into Hollywood before. Feel free to correct me, Andy.
No, there are quite a few. I think the most renowned one is Natalie Portman.
Yeah,
but she is like the most vocal Zionist. Plus, she's the first Israeli actress to win a main role in such
tentpole film.
Yeah, I mean, with all, I love Natalie Portman as well, with all due respect, but it's you see Black Swan, which is more artistic fringe, and then you see Wonder Woman, which is already meant to be a cult.
So Natalie Portman's probably most mainstream part was in the Star Wars prequels, but what I said about that, the better. But
Yeah. Yeah, I love Star Wars, but the
prequels.
Even the Clone Wars version of Padme was better than Natalie Portman's.
Not because of Natalie Portman, it has to be said, but just because more because of George Lucas, I would have said, but in all honesty. But there we go.
Yeah, probably that cast helped. Even the same script with a different director would have been a lot better.
Just a different script, different director. Just Lucas not being there would have helped it enormously. Maybe, but the fact there wouldn't have been the films.
Maybe if someone killed Jar Jar Binks.
The most loathed character in all of film, apparently.
There's a theory that he's a Sith Lord.
He's Darth Snoke, or whatever. Leader Snoke, I should say.
Disney have kind of revealed what happens to Jar Jar.
Yes, it's quite sad, isn't it? Is it what I think it is, Amy? Do you want to clarify?
His people despise him because he gave Palpatine the final vote that got in the powers he needed. So he
voted
is
Palpatine
a homeless man who's hated and shunned by everyone, and earns pennies on street corners by trying to be a bit of a clown, but people don't want anything to do with him. He's got kind of an awful existence following the prequel films. No, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying it's all those people
I'm sorry,
Jar Jar's awful, kill him off. It's
a doofus.
Yeah.
And I would shun him too for voting in Palpatine. I would shun also people who voted for Trump. But that would be too much, and they would go to a different country and start to say they're fugitives and they need help. Not fugitives, refugees.
Yeah.
Fugitive is the person who did something illegal.
Fugitive is Harrison Ford.
Yeah, he's after the one-armed man.
I don't know, Harrison Ford is dead. I mean, not the person, not the actor. Tons of his characters are dead.
Indiana Jones still lives because he drank from a Holy Grail, so he's going to be 80 in the next Indiana Jones film, probably. How else do you explain how he's going to be able to still do indie stuff in the next film when it comes out in 3 years' time, whenever it is?
That
was a bit of mythology I was clinging to that made it sort of worthwhile.
Yeah, they need to stop. There's only 3 of those films. The last one doesn't count. The next one won't.
The next one won't.
It won't, though.
It was, as far as I'm concerned, a few years ago, Harrison Ford did a film, Random Archaeologist and the Crystal Skull. It's not Indiana Jones.
Have you seen Linda Carter's photos with Gal Gadot?
Oh, yes.
I'm just holy crap, they're both queens.
Randomly, Gal Gadot looks a bit like her granddaughter. What do you say, granddaughter? I'm just trying to work out ages. I think, granddaughter.
Yeah. Linda Carter is in her 60s.
And Gal Gadot's
is in her 30s.
30-ish. Yeah, 30-something, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So daughter. Maybe.
So she could be the youngest child.
Yeah. There is definitely a familial resemblance there.
Yeah. Oh, have you guys seen the Supergirl promo for Wonder Woman?
Where she's got the boots.
Yeah.
Oh, is Wonder Woman coming to Supergirl season 3?
What? It's a promo for the Wonder Woman film.
It appeared during. Oh, that's a shame. I got excited.
I wish. I mean, Linda Carter is in season 2.
Yes. She's the president.
She's the president.
The president. Brilliant.
I mean, even the character played by Linda Carter in this show would be better than Trump.
That's that's a strange thing. House of Cards dropped on Netflix today. Was it today? I think it dropped the newest series of House of Cards. But the problem with House of Cards now is that it's less provocative and dangerous than Trump's presidency.
Yeah. It's lost its
edge. We've got a problem now, haven't we?
People watch it to get some nice political stuff now.
The idea generally is what happens if there's a dick president, and now it's what happens if there's a president who's a dick, but slightly less of a dick than the one we've actually got.
Did you see the Channel 4 programme on Monday?
Oh, yes. The badly titled May v Corbyn, which wasn't actually May v Corbyn, it was Corbyn versus Paxman, then May versus Paxman.
Yeah, there was much less fighting than I actually thought there was going to be. I was excited for a moment.
Yeah, well, Corbyn talked sense, Paxman was just an arse, and May couldn't answer a question, so it was a bit of a letdown, in all honesty. Apart from the audience were able to
I'm really happy with how Corbyn came out from that. He came out very eloquent and thoughtful and intelligent, whereas, well, how many times did the audience laugh at May, and how flustered did she get in comparison?
Oh, as we're recording this, of course, there is a debate of all the leaders, and randomly not Theresa May is Amber Rudd, the Home Secretary, has been sent out into battle to try and defend, but Corbyn is there, isn't he? I don't know how it's going on, but
from tweets I'm seeing, it kind of seems to be following the same suit as Monday. Labour is looking quite smart, and the Conservatives, in comparison, look like idiots. But that's good, because TV should reflect reality.
If you look at latest polls that don't incorporate, tabloids that are just too despicable to speak the name of, a lot are suggesting that the gap's closing massively because, and it's just Tories just self-immolating, really. They just capitulated almost all of a sudden. It just got worse. As soon as they had to indulge in talking to the public, they've gone badly wrong.
Have either of you heard the song?
Oh, Liar Liar, which is difficult for me to say, but it's still interesting. It's been banned, hasn't it, from Radio 1 from being played?
Yeah, it's, from what I was reading earlier, it's #1 on the iTunes downloads, and the BBC and a few other radio stations are refusing to play it for claiming that it's would undermine their political neutrality to do so, because it's calling Theresa May a liar. But it's really bizarre that they would choose to censor that, and they're getting a lot of flack for that.
Ding Dong the Witch is Dead when Thatcher died, did they?
No.
They allowed that to be played, which is worse, I would have said.
But you've also got to remember the BBC, despite claiming being unbiased, is very anti-Labour. And they got caught out a few weeks ago by basically lying about the Labour manifesto and even quoting the Tory website when describing it. Yeah, so it looks like very much more of they did it just because if they don't, they're going to get told off by their bosses, because, well, the BBC, they get money from the government, so they can't rock the boat too much.
It's a shame, because the BBC are, trusted and probably the premier source of news for most people. So you'd assume we'd be neutral, but no news outlet is entirely neutral these days, apart from Reuters, really. And if you want facts, you go to them, because all they deal with is bare bones facts. But every other news agency in the world has their own agenda these days, don't they? One way or the other.
I mean, most media outlets would have an agenda.
Some more explicit than others.
Yes.
The problem is, if you get locked into reading one particular type, you can be completely blinkered towards what's actually going on. And there's people who read certain, again, tabloids that should not be named. I'm sure people will be able to guess which I'm referring to. But if they read those, then their views are going to be very different from people who read, say, the Groundyard or anything like that.
That's why you have to get your news from a few different sources, and then
Exactly.
Considering the fact that most people are not actually able to do this because it requires actual cognitive ability, and some people lack that.
The worst is when people make judgments based off something they see going around on Facebook or something, and if that's the entire basis of your opinion on something, then I think it's off base. if you're going to base your entire opinion on anything on something that's been reshared 75 times by people who you don't really know, is that actually true, or is that from Me Onion or one of these news thump sites? And some people believe them. Not to quote the orange one, but there's a lot of fake news floating about. But unfortunately for him, the fake news isn't from CNN, but it's from news thump.
So I always try and, if I see a story on Facebook before sort of sharing or anything like that, I'll jump on Google and just check a few different websites to see if it's actually true.
And make sure that it's real and not just something that's been made up just to satisfy a particular viewpoint.
I've heard that now the sun is not allowed in Manchester.
Yeah. It's certainly not allowed in Liverpool and hasn't been for a few years. I don't know if it's spread to Manchester as well, but I hope so, because...
No, they just announced it, that now it's no longer allowed in Manchester.
Yeah, following their coverage last week.
Because they said some vile things about the attack.
Of course. And it doesn't surprise some rather horrible comments that they made and continue to make since Hillsborough. So if that's spread to Manchester, that's even better. Oh, that's a point. Another vile person who's lost their job lately. Kelvin McKenzie, former editor of said newspaper. He's been fired. Has he fired or has he resigned, Amy?
I don't know. I haven't caught this story.
Oh yeah, but he said something incredibly vile himself, which is nothing new. But this one he did get caught in, and he had to walk out. I have to look this up because it is something.
Yeah,
rather hideous.
Brings up. Oh yes, I remember this now. Yeah, he.
Oh, it's about Ross Barkley, the Everton football player. He compared him to a gorilla.
Yeah. He was suspended, and then him and the paper decided he wouldn't come back, so...
The worst thing is that the footballer in question is actually mixed race, I believe.
Yeah, I think Nigerian descent.
That explains why that would cause issues.
Yeah, and yeah.
To be fair, I always find it funny when people get upset when they're compared to, like, apes or any animal, really, because animals are awesome.
It depends.
Because if you compare someone from mixed race to like specific like apes or something like that, then you're kind of a dick.
Yeah, definitely. In his case, it's been a long time coming, but I don't know. There's some animals I would be very flattered to be compared to. I'm trying to think now of some bald animals. Bald eagle. There you go. Bald eagle. Any day of the week.
Did either of you see what the Tory candidate said in Joe Cox's constituency?
Oh, I heard about this, but I didn't know the details.
Yeah. For Addy, you may not know much about this, and for people outside the UK, she was an MP for Birstall. She was shot and stabbed to death by essentially a pro-out terrorist. And this week, one of the people running for her constituency from the Tory party, who was, what's her name? Dr. Anne Myatt, said, well, we've not shot anybody yet, so that's wonderful.
And certainly as far as integration is concerned, this sort of evening is absolutely first rate, because we have here people of all faiths, we have here people from different parts of the community, and we have not yet shot anybody, so that's wonderful.
Which, as you can imagine, really didn't go down well less than a year from her murder.
That is just bad any time, any place to say that. That's not even funny in the first place. But to say it there...
In what political argument does that work?
To say it there, of all places, that is just insensitive beyond all rhyme and reason, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, is there a fair time to shoot anyone?
Let me know. Let me know when Trump returns. But still, it's unbelievable.
I mean,
has she been removed from the local election for that comment? Because she should have been.
No, she's still running, and she's
ready to take it, probably, isn't she?
She apologised wholeheartedly and said that I said sorry at the time and would like to apologise again for my comments, which were out of character and came at the end of a tiring day.
Excuses?
Yeah. At the end of a tiring day. That doesn't just because you've not had enough coffees doesn't mean that you say the one thing you should not say in that constituency.
Yeah.
To be fair, she should not say way more than one thing.
But of all things to say there,
things on the list written with a big red pen, do not ever fucking say.
Exactly, and she picks it. Unbelievable. It's the sort of thing you could imagine on a very, very dark episode of The Thick of It. But unfortunately, there's no Peter Capaldi there just to absolutely shred her afterwards. He should do it anyway. Peter actually should just show up in a house.
Go and stand in that fucking corner. Stand over there, right? And do not move, or I will perform a fucking living fucking autopsy on you with a fucking rusty spade, and I'll have your kidneys for fucking cuff links. Jesus Christ. Oh, but that'll probably confuse you as well, won't it? That'll be too confusing. You'll see the cross and go, oh, fuck, X marks the spot. Better tell this little person all about the Prime Minister's fucking catastrophic erectile dysfunction. Stand up. I'm telling you to fucking stand up, you sack of fucking cum. Stand the fuck up. I won't scare you, okay? I'll just explain to you what I'm going to fucking do to you. I'm going to take your bollocks, I'm going to fucking rip them off, I'm going to fucking paint eyeballs on them. And I'm going to stitch them onto a fucking sock and use that as a mouthpiece. Allow me to pop a jaunty little bonnet on your purview and ram it up the shitter with a lubricated horse cock. Fucking hang up, haven't you? Fucking hoity-toity fucking...
Hey, enough with curse words, all right?
Kiss my sweaty balls, you fat fuck.
I would love to see how Malcolm Tucker would react to the Tories' current campaign. I imagine so many people would be getting screamed at constantly.
Yeah.
Well, at least we know the Tories aren't going to win that constituency. I think that's
kind
of a given now.
If there's any justice in the world.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us for another episode. Remember, if you want to join us on Twitter, you can follow us by going to @_everythingleft. You can find us on Facebook at Everything Left Podcast. We also have an email address, so if you have any comments, queries, or want to suggest anything for us to talk about, you can do that by going to everythingleft@outlook.com. We're also on Acast, Podcast Addict, iTunes, Podbean, and a host of other podcasting sites, so make sure you follow us and subscribe so that you don't miss any upcoming episodes. Thank you to Addy and Pete for joining me. It's been a real pleasure recording with you guys again.
It was fun coming back.
Yeah, pleasure's mine.
Yeah, hopefully I can edit this into a coherent episode, because we
Good luck.
did jump from topic to topic and then back to topics. So yeah, this could be a fun edit. Thank you guys for that lovely gift.
I just have to say, we are not going to embarrass anyone for psychological evaluation after this episode.
Except possibly Amy, if she's torn all her hair out with the editing.
I might have to hold you guys to that.
Amy's a given. I'm talking about listeners.
Oh no, we don't care about the listeners.
So yes,
that can go on my trail.
If you need psychological help, we can't help you with that.
So Pete, for those who haven't listened before when you've been on, you have your own podcast, don't you? Do you want to promote that and tell people where they can find your work?
Yeah, well, if you haven't been put off by me just talking complete and utter nonsense for the past X minutes, depending on the edit, you can find me and a whole host of guests, including Amy, who's been on a couple of times, Smorgasbord, SMORGASBORED. The E is quite important, otherwise you end up listening to a show that's not mine and probably better. We just, it's random, it's crazy, we talk weird news, we do challenges, we play silly games. I'm a dick to the guests, and the guests love me. I don't know, basically. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Acast, all the usual places. We're on Twitter at SmorgasbordPod, and that's me, so if you want to send any hate tweets, send there. People usually do. We're on Facebook at SmorgasbordPod, Instagram at SmorgasbordPod, you get the idea. We also have our own website, smorgasbordpod.wordpress.com. And now's a good time to jump on, because we've got episodes coming, and there's going to be quite an expansion coming over the next few weeks as well. So it's an exciting time to get on board.
It's always awesome to have you on, and having you two together for the first time, I think we're definitely going to have to try this combo again.
Why did I do this to myself?
Well, on that note, thank you everyone for listening, and we will see you next time. Take care.
We have a mission to make Britain a country that works, not for the privileged and not for the few, but for every one of our citizens. And together, we, the Conservative Party, can build a better Britain.
She's a liar, liar. She's a liar, liar. No, you can't trust her. No, 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 no. She's a liar, liar. She's a liar, liar. No, you can't trust her. No, 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 no. We all know politicians like telling lies. Big ones, little ones, porcupines, saying they're strong and stable, won't disguise. We're still being taken for a ride. The nurses going hungry, schools in decline. I don't recognize this broken country of mine. They're having a laugh, they show them the door, then cut the rich, not the poor.
I've been very clear that I think we need that period of time, that stability, to be able to deal with the issues that the country is facing. I'm not going to be calling a snap election.
She's a liar, liar. She's a liar, liar. No, you can't trust her. No, 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 no. She's a liar, liar. She's a liar, liar. No, you can't trust her. No, 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 no. I want to have a government that doesn't think that fascism is where it's at. 'Cause putting the mother of all bombs into tiny hands can go very wrong. I'm hoping for a future for my child where she can grow and feel inspired. Do everything in your power you can. People rising up is the only plan.
When future generations look back at this time, they will judge us not only by the decision that we made, but by what we made of that decision. They will see that we shaped them a brighter future. They will know that we built them a better Britain.
She's a liar, liar. She's a liar.